Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel today. Sorry about the delay for this video. I've tried to do it numerous times but things have happened that I wasn't too happy with about the video. But I'm happy with this version and I hope you enjoy it too, so remember to like, subscribe and share the video so we can go on this journey together. This video today is about the January transfer market, the key incomings, the key outgoings, and my prediction to see if it will weaken each team for the rest of the season or strengthen them in their positions in the league. So we'll start with Arsenal first of all, and the only signing they brought in was Austin Trusty from Colorado Rapids. In my opinion, Arsenal had a very underwhelming transfer window. They let a lot of players go without bringing anyone sufficient in to strengthen the top four hopes. This transfer of Aston Trusty was a straightforward one because the Cronkies, who own Arsenal, also hold Colorado Rapids. So it was a pretty straightforward transfer, to be honest. There was no messing about in it. There was no complications because the owners own both clubs, so it was easy to sort out financial in the transfer, so it went through pretty easy on deadline day. But in total, Arsenal should have brought in a new striker, a goal scorer. They were pursuing Vlahovic the whole window, which he chose to go to Juventus, and then they left him with no time to get anyone else. So Arsenal had a very underwhelming transfer window. But on the outgoings, they let Ainsley Maitland-Niles go to Roma on loan, Florian Balogun to go to Middlesbrough on loan. They released Kolasinac, where he went to Marseille for a free. They loaned out Pablo Mari to Udinese. They let Calum Chambers go to Aston Villa for a fee of £2 million. The reason it was £2 million is because his contract is up in 6 months, and they wanted to get some sort of fee for him and his wage off the wage bill. They let a bunch of youngsters go to different clubs across the Football League, Scotland, just to develop them and give them game time in a first-team environment, which will develop them more. And the key one is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They released him from his contract. It would have cost them £7 million to do this, and his mighty wage of £350,000 a week as well. In total, I think Arsenal are saving £600,000 a week on wages with the players they've let go. But you thought that they might have brought someone in. So with the transfer window, I don't think Arsenal will finish in the top four now. They were in pole position at one point to finish in the top four, but I don't think they will now because they're a weaker side now than they were at the start of January. With players-wise, the quality, they've got Lacazette and Nketiah up front. That's all they've got, and none of them two are scoring at the moment. So I don't know where the goals are going to come from Arsenal. I do think they will finish in European places in the top 6, 7, but I don't think they'll finish in the top 4. So that's Arsenal's window. We'll move on to Aston Villa, who got their business done very, very early. They brought in Philippe Coutinho on loan from Barcelona. What a coup this was. He wanted to play in England again. He wanted to play under his old teammate, Steven Gerrard. So what a fit it would have been to join Aston Villa. He had a dream debut. He got 1 goal, 1 assist. He got off to a great start after coming from 2-0 down against United to draw 2-2 at Villa Park. It just worked out perfectly for Coutinho, and Aston Villa have got a option to buy clause for about €30 million, which would be an absolute steal if he does well and Aston Villa choose to buy him. Because if they can get him to half the player he was at Liverpool, then he will do fantastically well at Villa Park. Other players Aston Villa brought in Lucas Dinier from Everton for a fee of around £25 million. This was a weird transfer because he didn't want to leave Everton but got forced out by Rafa Benitez. And then a couple of weeks later, after Dinier left, Rafa Benitez got sacked, and then he returned to Goodison Park and got hit by objects in the face, which is completely condonable. We do not condone that at all, and shouldn't happen. But Lucas Dinier, what a signing! One of the best left backs in the Premier League. One of Everton's best players actually, and they let him go to a rival that is developing something really, really good here to challenge for European places. So that's a good signing. They also brought in Robert Olsen from Roma on loan till the end of the season. He's a goalkeeper who has vast amounts of experience in European football. He's an international for Sweden. He was on loan at Everton last season under Carlo Ancelotti. It's just a good backup signing to challenge Pickford for that starting place, because I think he's had it too easy for too long now, Jordan Pickford. And to have a goalkeeper like that with the experience will just challenge him that little bit more to improve. And they also brought in Calum Chambers from Arsenal for about £2 million, who's a very versatile player who can play right back, central defensive midfielder, centre back, and even left back. So anywhere across that back four and the defensive midfield role, because he won Player of the Year for Fulham in 2018 after playing central defensive midfield for them in the Premier League, even though they got relegated. So yeah, it's been a very good window for Aston Villa and Steven Gerrard. They've brought in some quality, depth to the squad, and versatility as well, which is always key in any squad going forward. Some of the outgoings for Aston Villa: Keenan Davis went to Nottingham Forest on loan. Wesley, the striker, went to Internacional on loan, who's based in Brazil. A young Aaron Ramsey went to Cheltenham Town on loan. El Ghazi went to Everton on loan, which was part of the Dinier deal for Dinier to Aston Villa, and El Ghazi went to Everton, part of that deal. And Matt Targett went to Newcastle on loan, and Jed Steer, the goalkeeper, joined Luton Town on loan as well. And a few youngsters went to the Football League and Scotland to gain some playing time and some experience in a first-time environment, which would just help them a little bit more to develop. So in total, I think Aston Villa had a really good window, really proactive window. They built on a team they've already got strength and depth in. They're going to be stronger going forward and defensively with the addition of Dinier and Chambers, and going forward with Coutinho as well. And yeah, do I think Aston Villa will qualify for the European places this season? No. But going forward, if they continue to build on this team with Gerrard, they can definitely challenge the top six in the coming seasons. So I think Aston Villa have had a really good window there. We'll move on to Brentford then. They brought in probably the best signing of the window in terms of football related and personal related as football fans. They brought in Christian Eriksen as a free transfer. He collapsed and had a cardiac arrest back in July on the pitch in the Euros against Finland for Denmark. He had an ICD fitted defibrillator, but because of the rules in Italy and Serie A, he couldn't play a season with that fitted, so Inter Milan released him of his contract. He went off and trained on his own with the Ajax under-23 teams, and then Brentford came in, offered him a 6-month deal. He's accepted it. It's great to see Eriksen back in the Premier League again, for him to score goals, and his goal is to ultimately get into the Denmark squad for the World Cup in the winter. And if he can do that, it'll be such a great footballing story. And it's so great to have Eriksen back, not just on the football pitch, but to see him live as well, get through that cardiac arrest and to build up his confidence again to carry on playing. It shows the person Eriksen is, and we're so glad to see you back, Christian. Other signings that Brentford made was Jonas Lossell of Midtjylland, former of Huddersfield Town goalkeeper in the Premier League. He joins on loan as a backup in competition for David Raya and the young goalkeeper that's there as well. And they've just brought in a few little youngsters from non-league in England and France as well to grow them and develop them so they can come into the first team eventually. A few players that Brentford let go. Joe Adams went to Dundalk. Joe Valencia went back to his homeland. Charlie Good has left to go to Sheffield United on loan, a centre-back that was playing regularly in their championship campaign. And Marcus Force left to join Hull on loan as well. I do think Brentford will survive with the window they've had. I think Eriksen will bring the quality needed from goals and assists wise. The experience that Eriksen will bring to the Brentford side will be crucial for them to stay up. Are they in a relegation battle at the moment? Maybe, maybe not, but I think the quality they've got with Tony, Eriksen, Janssen at the back, Raya in goal, and a few other players like Mbermo and stuff like that will surely keep Brentford up this season. They're a good footballing side. They've got a good manager in Thomas Frank, and I wish Brentford the very, very best of luck this season. Okay, we'll move on to Brighton and Hove Albion then. They've brought in a few players from abroad, from Poland and Belgium, I think it is, and Portugal. Players I can't pronounce, but they brought them in because Brighton have a very good recruitment process where they bring South American players in and European players that no one's heard of and develop them into first team players that are very, very good and can be sold on for a lot more money than they bought them for. They've got a good transfer policy, Brighton. They're probably the best run football club in England in the Premier League. They know what they're doing. They've got a good manager in Graham Potter who probably deserves a bigger club one day. And yeah, they've just gone about their business again with the good scouting networks and brought in some good young players from abroad and England. And they will develop at Brighton. Some of the outgoings for Brighton, Aaron Connolly's joined Middlesbrough on loan. Leo Ostigard has joined Genoa on loan. Jurgen Locadia has joined Bochum for an undisclosed fee in Germany. Taylor Richards joins Birmingham on loan. Christian Walton finally leaves Brighton permanently and joins Ipswich Town on a permanent contract. Dan Burn, the most recognised player there, went to Newcastle for £13 million on deadline day. So they've made money on him as well from where they brought him from Bristol City, I think it was. So they have a good recruitment process, Brighton. You don't let the players go on a cheap. They develop him into good Premier League footballers. And I'm sure they will survive this season. There's no doubt about that. They can't push for Europe, but they'll finish comfortably in the top 10, I think, Brighton. They're going to do very well and they'll continue to grow under Graham Potter and continue to invest in the team as well and grow and maybe challenge the top 7 in future seasons, but we will see because there is a lot of good teams in that league. But best of luck to Brighton for the rest of the season. We'll go on to Burnley then. They brought in one arrival to replace their striker Chris Wood, who left to join Newcastle for £25 million, who does have a release clause. That was the release clause they triggered, the £25 million. And then they went and brought Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg in the German league, who was 4th. He was a 4th placed striker in the Bundesliga. Good amount of goals as well for Netherlands as well. And then he comes and joins bottom of the table Burnley. I think that shows the power of the Premier League, the pull of the Premier League to attract players like that, especially Burnley as well. Sean Dyche is a cracking manager. He's done an exceptional job on the budget and resources he's been given at Burnley. They are bottom of the table at the moment. Do I think they'll survive? I hope so. But realistically, I don't think they will. They do have 4 games in hand on the teams above them. But survival is going to be key for Burnley this year if they want to develop and get better players in and to keep players like Weghorst. Would he want to play in the Championship with Burnley after being in a Champions League team with Wolfsburg earlier in the season? But we'll see going forward. But Burnley have had a quiet window. It was just a straight replacement for Chris Wood with Weghorst, and they've made money as well in the window. So positivity for Burnley all around, but I hope you do survive, but you have a good amount of task on your hands. We'll move on to Chelsea then. They brought in no arrivals in the window. They just let players like Lewis Baker join Stoke for an undisclosed fee. Juan Castella joined Charlton on loan. Tariq Awukwe joined Crewe Alexandra on a free transfer. And Tino Angerin joined Huddersfield Town on loan as well for the remainder of the season. I think Chelsea didn't need to do any business in January, to be honest, because they spent a lot of money in the summer on Lukaku, nearly £100 million. They've got Werner, they've got Havertz, they've got Ziyech, they've got Mount, Kovacic, Kante. Many players you can name, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, all them players they've got. They've got a good squad. They should have challenged for the league. Maybe they've underachieved in the league this season, but they can still regain their Champions League. They're in a Carabao Cup final. They're in the FA Cup still. So they could still get a very, very good season out of this. I do think Chelsea will finish third in the league. I don't see them going any higher, and I don't see them going any lower. I think they will finish third in the Champions League places, and I think Chelsea will do more business in the summer to strengthen that team even more and maybe replace the players that might leave on a free transfer, such as Rudiger, Christensen, Azpilicueta, and a few other players. I think they will strengthen in the summer though, but Chelsea will finish in the top 4 this season. Okay, we'll move on to Crystal Palace then. They made 3 signings in the window. They brought in Killian Phillips from Drogheda United. I don't know much about him, but he's probably a young player that's for the future, that can be developed. Slowly brought into the first team, have a few cameos off the bench maybe. So it's a good signing for them. They've made this permanent signing of Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's been on loan at Crystal Palace for the past 12 months, since last January. They made the deal permanent so they could loan more players in when they needed to, or loan more players out. So he's now a permanent signing for Crystal Palace. Good striker. Not scored many goals, but he does a job for Vieira in place of Christian Benteke and Ayew. He's a different type of striker. He's tall, he holds up the ball well, and he'll be a good addition for Crystal Palace, I'm sure of it. He'll cause competition for the strikers. And they've also brought in Luke Plunge from Derby County, who has been loaned back to Derby County for the remainder of the season. They signed him for £1 million, and I'm sure that £1 million will help Derby County with the financial trouble somewhat. He's a good young promising player, good winger, scored a great goal at the weekend for Derby County, and I'm sure he'll slot into that Crystal Palace team in a couple of years' time, alongside Elise, Eze, Gallagher if they make that permanent, Benteke, Ayew, Zaha. They've got some good players there at Crystal Palace, and they will survive this season. They'll finish comfortably mid-table, and I'm sure Vieira will want to strengthen again in the summer. But we'll go through some of the outgoings for Crystal Palace. Young players, really, who have gone to Football League clubs to get game time. But the most known one is Luke Plunge, back to Derby County on loan for the remainder of the season to try and keep them up. So yeah, that's really much it for Crystal Palace. I think they will survive. That Vieira's doing a fantastic job there, and I'm sure they'll continue to build the squad to hopefully challenge for the European places. But as I've said before, there's loads of teams challenging for them places in coming years, and it will be a very, very strong competition. But best of luck, Crystal Palace. We'll move on to Everton then. They had an early start to the window and a very proactive start to the window. They brought in Vitaly Mykolenko from Dynamo Kiev. He is a... Let me just get this information for you. He's a Ukraine international, agreeing a 4.5-year deal until the end of June 2026. He became the first signing of the January transfer window after impressed at both club and international level in recent years. Mykolenko has won 21 caps for his country and was a key part of the team which reached the quarter-finals of Euro 2020. He featured regularly in Dynamo's past 2 Champions League campaigns and was instrumental in his side's domestic league triumph in 2021 season. He has also won 2 Ukrainian Cups with Dynamo. So Mykolenko is experienced. He's played in the Champions League. He's got caps for his country. He's won trophies. He will take time to acclimatise to the Premier League though, because on his debut he had a howler of a game against Norwich. He just couldn't get used to the games, the tempo of the Premier League, but over time he will get used to it and he will become a very good right back for Everton. Left back, whatever he plays. But he's one for the future for Everton. So's the next one, Nathan Patterson, who joined from Rangers. Gerrard brought him through from the youth setup when he was at Rangers, and he came with a bit of a fee to Everton. He invested quite a lot in him. He signed An undisclosed fee. The talented right-back agreeing a 5.5-year deal until the end of June 2027. The 20-year-old Scottish international, one of Europe's most highly rated young defenders, became the club's second signing of the winter window following the arrival of Ukraine left-back Michaelenko. Patterson joined Rangers Academy at aged 8 and after making his senior debut in 2020, led the Glasgow club to the Scottish Premiership title last season with an unbeaten record. He's athletic, 6'1" with lightning burst of pace. Patterson has 6 senior Scotland caps, having made his international bout in June last year, netting his maiden goal against Moldova in November. So Patterson as well, he may only be 20 years old, but he's got 6 Scottish caps to his name. He's got an international goal. He's 6'1", he's tall, he's good in the air, he'll be a threat in both boxes. He's one for the future. He came with a price tag, but I'm sure he'll develop at Everton, develop for Scotland and become a really good right back for Everton as well. The next signing they made was Anwar El Ghazi, joined from Aston Villa on loan, which was part of the Lucas Dinier deal. Dinier went to Villa. El Ghazi came the other way to Everton. They also brought Danny van der Beek in on loan on deadline day. I'm hoping Danny van der Beek gets some game time and performs well. Because of a United fan growing up, I've always wanted him to be given a chance at United, but I think he's been unfairly treated. So I hope that he gets the game time he deserves and shows United what they've been missing in that midfield. So good luck to Donny van der Beek on that. Dele Alli joined from Spurs as well on deadline day. I'm not sure if this is a free transfer or not, but I know there is fees involved going forward. I think it's £10 million based on how many appearances he makes, and then there's more money on top of that for how many goals and assists or trophies he wins as well. So it's a good piece of business there. They've got Frank Lampard in charge now as well, which I'm sure they'll stay up with Frank Lampard because he's a good manager. He's a good man manager. He'll get the best out of players like Dele Alli, Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison. He's got a good bunch of players there. They've just underachieved this season, but I'm sure they'll comfortably stay up. And the outgoings for Everton was obviously Lucas Dinier to Aston Villa. Ellis Sims went out on loan to Hearts. And Lewis Warrington joined Tranmere on loan as well. But as I said, with Frank Lampard in charge, I'm sure Everton will stay up this season. Just try and get as many points as you can. And when you get to the summer, build again, sell some players, buy better young players to develop and grow and go again, Everton. But I'm sure you'll have a good end to the season. We'll move on to Leeds United then. They brought in one signing in the window, Mateo Joseph Fernandez from Espanyol. I don't know much about him, but we can get a bit of information on him here. He's a highly rated 18-year-old centre-forward who has impressed in Espanyol's academy setup, where he has found the net on a number of occasions, including 14 goals in 21 matches for the under-19s last season. He was born in Spain to British parents. Mateo joins Leeds United for an undisclosed fee, signing a 3.5-year contract which expires in June 2025. He will now join up with Mark Jackson's under-23 side. So he's not a player for the first team at the moment. He will join the under-23 side at Leeds and he will continue to develop, score goals, grow and get used to English football, the Premier League, and then he will eventually become Leeds' number 9 striker with either Bamford or a replacement for Bamford. But to me, it's a signing for the future from Leeds, and maybe it could turn out to be a very good signing or even a bad signing. We'll just go through some of the outgoings for Leeds. Ryan Edmondson joins Port Vale on loan for the rest of the season. Cody Dramer joins Cardiff on loan. This was an interesting one because Bielsa didn't want him to leave, but the player overruled him and said, I want to leave and play regular football, so he went, and credit to him because he has been playing for Cardiff. And just a couple of others left for non-league in England and Scotland as well. My opinion on Leeds this season, I think they have slightly underachieved from where they were last year. Do I think they'll stay up? Yes, just about. They've got Calvin Phillips in midfield. They've got Cooper at the back. They've got an alright keeper in Messier. They've got Bamford. They've got the crowd at Ellen Road. I think they will just about stay up. But at the moment, they are in a relegation battle. So I do wish Leeds the best of luck for the rest of the season, and I hope you do stay up, because you are a big club and you do deserve to be in the Premier League. We'll move on to Leicester City now next. Leicester City didn't bring anyone in the January transfer window, and will that be a regret that they will make? Because they have dropped a lot of points in recent weeks. They are dropping down the table slowly. They've been knocked out the Europa League. They're now into the Conference League, which they will be one of the favourites to win. They've got a lot of injuries in the team. Tielemans doesn't know what he's doing. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Vardy's getting on a bit now. Barnes is a bit out of form. Maddison's in form a little bit. But they're just a really inconsistent team, Leicester, at the moment. They can score loads of goals, but also concede lots of goals at the same time. And it can be frustrating as a Leicester fan, I bet. But some of the outgoings that happened, they released Philippe Benkovic, who was never getting a look in the centre-half. Sam Hughes, the young centre-back, has gone to Burton on loan. And just a few other youngsters joining Scottish League, Scottish teams and EFL teams to get that experience in a first-team environment. This year, where do I think Leicester will finish? I think Leicester won't finish in the top 7 this year. I think there's too many teams in and around them. I think Wolves will finish above them this year just because of the consistency they've got in their side. I don't think Leicester will have European football next year. Whether that will be an action to sack Brendan Rodgers, I don't know. It could be a bit harsh if they win a trophy this year. They're still in the FA Cup. They're the holders of the FA Cup, remember. They just need a lot more consistently, Leicester, but I'm sure you'll have a good second half to the season, and I wish you all the best. We'll move on to Liverpool then. Luis Diaz is their only addition to the team. I'll give you a bit of information on him. He's subject to a successful granting of a work permit and international clearance before he actually joins the team. He's a 25-year-old who has signed a long-term contract with the Reds after passing a medical and finalising personal terms. Diaz will arrive on Merseyside once he has completed international duty with Colombia, who face Argentina in a World Cup qualifier in Cordoba on Tuesday evening. He joins Liverpool after 2.5 seasons with FC Porto, where he had 125 appearances and scored 41 goals, and he will wear the number 23 shirt. So he's a good addition to the Liverpool side for the future. They've now got 2 players in each position. They've got Jota, Diaz, Mane, Firmino, Salah. You could even include Minamino in there as well. Maybe not Origi because he will go in the summer. But they've got a lot of quality in that front line now, Liverpool. They've got quality to go past people like Salah and Mane when they eventually leave, because they've got Jota, they've got Diaz, they've got Minamino. They will continue to bring in young players. They were after Carvalho from Fulham in the window, which just didn't go through, but they're confident of signing him in the summer. And I do think Liverpool will finish runners-up this season. I don't think they will win the league, but they're still in the FA Cup. They're in the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. They're still in the Champions League, one of the favourites. So they could still have a fantastic season, Liverpool. We'll just wait to see what happens with them. Some of the outgoings for them, the main ones was Nico Williams, the fullback, joining Fulham on loan until the end of the season, and Nat Phillips joining AFC Bournemouth on loan for the rest of the season as well. But Liverpool will have a good season. They will finish in the top 4, comfortably second place, and hopefully they'll win for Liverpool fans, hopefully they'll win a trophy, but for me, I hope they don't. Alright, we'll go on to Man City then. They brought in one signing, Julian Alvarez from River Plate. I will give you a bit of information on this guy right now. He's 22 years old. He's a forward who has already collected 5 senior international caps with Argentina. He's agreed a 5.5-year deal with Man City. The director of football at City believes he has significant potential. He goes on to say, Julian is a player we have monitored for some time. He is capable of operating in a number of attacking roles, and we firmly believe he's one of the best young attacking players in South America. I'm so happy we have managed to bring him to Manchester City. I really believe we can provide him with the right conditions to fulfil his potential and become a top player. Alvarez made his senior River Plate debut in October 2018 and has already forged a reputation as one of the best young forwards in Argentina. He managed 36 goals and 25 assists in 96 River Plate appearances, including a strike in their 4-0 victory over Racing in November, a result that sealed the Argentine League title. Alvarez made his senior international debut in a World Cup qualifier against Chile in June last year, replacing Angel Di Maria with an hour gone, and was part of the squad that won the Copa America in July. He will remain with River on loan until at least July 2022. So for Man City, this is a potentially good signing for them. I think they've spent a bit of money on him, but he'll be worth it because he won a trophy already at international level. He won the Copa America in the summer. He's won titles with River Plate in the Argentinian League. He's got an exceptional goal record. He made his debut at the age of 17, I think it said. He will stay on loan with River Plate until at least the summer or even the end of this year. But he's a good potential striker for Man City, and the way that Pep wants to play, he'll be a perfect striker for them. And he has been stated as the new Sergio Aguero, but we will see how that plans out. But Julian Alvarez could be an exceptionally good signing and another good piece of business by Man City. We'll just go through some of their outgoings then. They let Ferran Torres go to Barcelona for £55 million. Taylor Harwood-Bellis joins Stoke City on loan. James Trafford joins Bolton Wanderers on loan. Tommy Doyle joins Cardiff City on loan. Patrick Roberts joins Sunderland on a free transfer. Luke Bolton joins Salford on a free transfer after being released by Man City. My opinion, I think City will win the league this year. They'll cruise to the league title again. They just seem to love winning the Premier League, don't they? And Pep knows how to win. They're in an exceptional way of form. They are one of the favourites for the Champions League again, but whether they'll win that, we'll see. They're in the FA Cup still, so they could win the treble. I hope they don't, but we'll see how they get on. But they'll definitely be in for a successful season if everything goes to plan. So, good luck to City. Through the skin of my teeth. We'll move on to Man United then. Man United had a very underwhelming window. As a United fan growing up, I am frustrated with how incompetent our owners are. As a United supporter, they just don't see the problems the fans or the manager seems to see. We needed a holding midfielder to try and secure our top 4 spot down, but they want to wait till the summer for the new manager, which I don't know why. But we'll go through some of the outgoings from Man United. Tedder Mengi joins Birmingham City on loan. Ethan Laird joins AFC Bournemouth on loan. Axel Twanzebe joins Napoli on loan. Anthony Martial joins Sevilla on loan. Amad Diallo joins Rangers on loan, who scored a goal within 5 minutes of his Rangers debut at the weekend. Donny van der Beek joins Everton on loan. And a couple of youngsters as well goes out on loan to Germany and England as well. And I look forward to seeing how these players play first team football regularly under new managers at new clubs to see if they're motivated enough to go and prove that United should keep them and that the new manager can see what they're really like and how they perform really, because Martial, Van der Beek, Twanzebe especially, and Ahmad haven't had the chance at United. We've just got such a bloated squad, and I hope they go out and smash it because they'll show United board that they're here to stay and that it was a mistake for letting them go. So best of luck to you all. I do think United will finish 4th in the league. It will be tight because they're in that race with West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham and even Wolves now. It's a 5-horse race for one spot. But I do think United will get there just with the squad they've got. They've got a good squad, probably the best squad amongst that 5 lot of clubs. And we're used to the pressure. Well, we should be, and I think we will finish 4th. And I hope the new manager's Erik ten Hag from Ajax, but we'll see. So come on, United, pull your socks up and get into that top 4 race. Get into that top 4 spots. We'll move on to Newcastle then. The highest spenders in the window so far, the richest club in the world. Their first signing was Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. They signed Chris Wood from Burnley for 25 million. They activated his release clause. They signed Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon. What a signing that will be in midfield. Brazil international. Scores loads of goals, box to box. His stamina's unreal. He can go games and games and games in a week and week. He'll be a crucial signing for Newcastle in that midfield. They've loaned in Matt Targett from Aston Villa, a good left back, an improvement on what they've got going forward and defensively. So hopefully get some goals from there, some crosses into the box. As I said before, they brought Dan Burn in from Brighton for £13 million to improve their centre-half pairings, to strengthen them defensively. And I do think Newcastle have had a good window. They could have got a few other players in like Diego Carlos, Ekitete from France, but for a first window with a lot of money, that's not bad for Newcastle. I do think they will stay up, and I think they will develop in the summer and spend even more money than they've already done, and they will become a threat in coming years. So we'll wait to see about that one. There's no real outgoings from Newcastle, just Jeff Hendrick to QPR and Matty Longstaff to Mansfield, who are never going to play anyway. And just a few of the youngsters going to EFL clubs as well. So best of luck to Newcastle on your survival. I do think you will stay up and you will become a force in the coming years. Okay, we'll move on to Norwich then. There was no incomings at Norwich. I think Dean Smith has done a good job since he arrived at Norwich. They're no longer in the relegation places at the moment. They've won back-to-back games. And I feel like they could have done with bringing in some players to strengthen their boost of survival. But they haven't done that. They have let players go, such as Todd Cantwell, who's joined AFC Bournemouth on loan, which is surprising. Jordan Hugill joins Cardiff on loan. Onel Hernandez joins Birmingham City on loan, and a youngster called Bale Mumba joins Peterborough United on loan, and a mixture of other youngsters which have gone to Scotland or other EFL clubs during the window. I do wish Norwich the best of luck, but I do think you will still be relegated this season. I just think you can see too many goals and don't score enough goals as well. And if you do survive, it would be amazing for you to survive on the financial stability you've got, but it'll be like a Burnley for you lot. It'll be a surprise if you stay up, but I don't think you will. I think the league's too strong for you and you just can see too many goals. But best of luck to Norwich and Dean Smith. We'll move on to Southampton then. They brought in one player, Willy Caballero. He's 40 years old. He's vast experienced Argentinian goalkeeper. He'll give some competition for MacArthur in net. Not played much this season. He's probably just a backup now, being 40 years old, bringing his experience to a team like Southampton will be crucial. Winning a Premier League with with Man City, He's been all over the place, World Cups and everything like that, bringing vast amounts of experience, and he's a good player to have in the ranks for Southampton. And a few players they've let go out on loan. Kane Ramsey goes to Ross County. Sam McQueen had to retire, unfortunately, due to a leg injury. And just a few other outgoings to English non-league teams, EFL teams, and even abroad, some of them as well. So Southampton will survive. They've got a great manager in Ralph Hasenhüttl. They've been taken over. They've got a good bunch of players there. Walker Peters, Redmond, Romeo, Ward-Prowse. A good amount of players there for them to survive and have a very good end to the season, so good luck to Southampton. We'll go on to Tottenham Hotspur then. They brought in two players on deadline day, both from Juventus. Rodrigo Bentanco. He is let me get some information for you. He's a midfielder that signed a contract until 2026. He does await international clearance and a work permit, but he was born in Uruguay. He came through the ranks at Boca Juniors, making his senior debut for them in 2015 and subsequently winning 2 Premier Division titles and Copa Argentina during his time at the club. He moved to Juventus in 2017, where he continued to achieve success, winning 3 successive Serie A titles between 2018 and 2020, in addition to lifting the Supercoppa Italiana twice and the Coppa Italia twice in 2017-18 and again last season in 2020-2021 season. The 24-year-old featured regularly in Serie A and the UEFA Champions League throughout his time with Juventus during the 17-18 season. On the international stage, Rodrigo has represented Uruguay since 2017, part of the young side that won the Under-20 South American Championship in 2017. He made his senior debut later that year and was subsequently represented his country at the 2018 FIFA World Cup, in addition to the 2019 and 2021 installments of the Copa America. He has 46 senior caps to his name and will join up for the first time following Uruguay's World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela and Montevideo on Tuesday. So Bentanco is a vastly experienced and serial winner. He comes with titles in Italy, South America, in Argentina, and with loads of caps to his name for Uruguay. He comes with vast amounts of experience. He's not the most mobile midfielder, but he will do a job for Spurs. And I think he does strengthen that Spurs midfield a lot. And I hope he has a very good time at Spurs and can hopefully win them some titles. Under Antonio Conte, of course. And another signing they brought in is Dejan Kulusevski on loan from Juventus. He's a Swedish international, showed a lot of potential, played in the Euro. I think he didn't play in the Euros actually because I think he was injured. But he's come with a lot of potential. He's a winger, he's pacey, he can score goals. And I hope he has a good time at Spurs as well and can create some success with Conte and be part of that team that they're hoping to rebuild Spurs. Okay, to the outgoings from Tottenham, they've let Dylan Markanday go to Blackburn for an undisclosed fee. They've let Jack Clark go to Sunderland on loan, Niall John to join Charlton on loan, Tanguy Ndombele joins Lyon on loan with an option to buy, Brian Gill goes to Valencia on loan till the end of the season, Giovanni Lo Celso joins Villarreal on loan till the end of the season, and Dele Alli joins Everton. So Spurs have had a clear out on deadline day. They let 4 players go, 4 senior players that Conte didn't want, and then brought in Bentanco and Kulusevski, and they are trying to build something there and trying to convince Harry Kane to stay in the summer and to try and win something. So I do wish Spurs the best of luck. I don't think you'll finish in the top 4 though. I think you will finish in the top 6 and get European football next season, but best of luck, Tottenham. We'll go on to Watford then. They brought in 5 players in the window. They brought in Maduko Okoye from Sparta Rotterdam. They brought in Hassam Kamara from Nice, Samir from Udinese, Edo Kayembe from UPenn, and Samuel Kalou from Bordeaux. A random amount of signings, to be honest. I've never heard of any of them. It must have a scouting network that works, Watford. I don't really know what to think of those signings. I think Watford will go down this season. I just don't see them surviving. They've got a crucial game against Burnley at the weekend, which I will do another video with my predictions for that game and the midweek fixtures as well coming up. But I don't see Watford staying up. I just don't see them having the quality, to be honest, to stay up. Some of the outgoings, Okoye joins Sparta Rotterdam, goes back on loan. Pontus Dahlberg joins Gillingham on loan. Ryan Cassidy joins Bohemian on loan. And Demikos Quina joins Barnsley on loan. So yet again, they've let players leave on loan that I've not really heard of, Watford, to be honest. And yeah, you brought in Roy Hodgson to try and keep you up, but I don't think you will stay up. Because I just don't see you having the quality to stay up. You can see too many goals, you don't score many goals either. You lost 3-0 to Norwich last time out, and I do think you are in trouble. But best of luck, Norwich and Watford and Roy Hodgson. I hope you do stay up, but I just don't see it. Last but not least, we've got West Ham. They didn't bring anyone in the window, but they let 3 players go. They let Connor Coventry join MK Dons on loan till the end of the season. Joseph Anang to St Patrick's on loan, and Frederick Alves to join Bromby on a permanent transfer. I think West Ham needed to bring some quality into this team in the window to stand any chance of getting top 4. They're playing Thursday, Sunday football because they're still in the Europa League, which is credit to them. But they need a replacement striker for when Antonio goes out. They need a bit of depth at the back. They need centre-halves. They tried to go for Calvin Phillips on deadline day with a £50 million bid. They tried to go for Nunes, the Benfica striker, on deadline day, which got rejected. I think West Ham just left it too late, and I don't know who's in charge of the transfers over there, but I think they've messed up big time there. They needed to bring in some players to support the European tour and top 4 challenge as well. But best of luck to you. I don't think you will finish top 4. I think you will finish in 7th place, to be honest. But good luck to West Ham and David Moyes. Our last club of the window will be Wolverhampton Wanderers. They brought in 3 players in this window. They brought in Heyo Kawabe from Grasshoppers, Chiquinho from Estoril, and Hwan Sang-bin from Suwon Samsung Blue Wings. Again, players I've never heard of, but players that Wolves seem to bring in from foreign leagues and seem to settle in well and develop as a Wolves player. Wolves are having a very good season this year. I do think they are in a top 4 race. Do I think they'll finish there? No. Do I think they'll finish in the top 6? Maybe. But they could finish 8th. They could drop off to the end of the season. They've got Raul Jimenez up front, Neto, Neves, Coutinho. They've got a lot of good players, Cody the captain. But we'll see how Wolves get on. We'll quickly go through some of their outgoings. Theo Corbinio joins MK Dons on loan. Luke Patterson joins Scunthorpe on loan. Hwan Sang-bin, who they joined, has gone to Grasshoppers on loan. Adama Traore left to join Barcelona on loan with an option to buy. He was linked with Tottenham Hotspur, but he didn't want to play right wing back and wasn't convinced by the project, so he chose to go back to his homeland to Barcelona. And just let a few other players go to non-league, released a few players and the EFL teams as well to gain first game experience and to develop. Well, that's all the transfers from the 20 Premier League clubs in and out. I've given you my predictions to where they will finish in the league, whether they've been weakened or strengthened. So please, I hope you like this video. Please let me know down in the comments where you think each team will finish this season. Remember to like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.